Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to replace the screen on this 13-inch MacBook Pro. This is a model A2251 2020. Alright, so we're going to need a P5 or Pentalobe 1.2 screwdriver. We'll also need a T3 or Torx 3, a T5 or Torx 5, and a T8 or Torx 8. We might need some other screwdriver bits, but for now that's what we're going to use. Alright, of course you're going to want to remove any covers and things like that. If your screen is on, you want to make sure to turn that off or shut down the computer. Right, we're going to pop this cover off. Alright, most people probably aren't going to have these covers on their MacBooks, but I figured just show it so you can see how it comes off. Alright, there we go. We'll set that aside. Okay, so first thing, well, it's pretty dusty, but first thing we're going to do is use a Pentalobe 1.2 or P5 screwdriver, and we'll remove all the screws from the bottom. You want to keep all the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. The way I do that, put them flat side down like that on my desk in the pattern I remove them. Alright, so we got that, we'll get that, and then we got the 4 down there. Alright, if this video helps you out, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. If you're wondering, the 2 back screws here are longer than the 4 in the front. So if you happen to mix them up, hopefully that will help. But again, try and keep all the screws in order. Alright, to remove this cover, it'll help to have a suction cup, but it's not really required. Usually these models with these air vents here, I can kind of pull this up a bit with my fingernails, and then once you've lifted up there, you can kind of go under here. But let me show you, because that's a little bit tough. So we'll show you with the suction cup. Basically, you just do that. You can pull it up slightly, and then you can get underneath there. But anyways, you can also use tape. So if you use tape, you can have it meet like in the middle like this, and you can use that as a pull tab. Alright, but again, suction cup is the easiest, and you can maneuver it, move it around, and yeah. Anyways, once I get into here, I'm going to work my way up. Alright, just like this, up the side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the clip out. So usually I'll push with my thumb and pull up with my fingers, but this one for some reason popped out super easy. Right, we're going to work our way up to this side and continue going, and there we go. Alright, once you pop those 2 sides, there's also clips in the middle, but usually those will pop themselves. Alright, now we're going to put this vertical like that. I'm going to keep my fingers wrapped over like this so it doesn't lean forward or backwards. Then I'm going to grab here, okay, like this. And I'm using my fingernails against this so that way it doesn't scratch my hand because the edges are sharp there. Alright, so now I'm going to push with my fingers down here while I grab this and pull it down as well. Alright, and there we go. It takes quite a bit of force, but here you can see we popped that out. Usually once you pop one side out, the other side will come out pretty easily. So there we go. Alright, I see a lot of dust coming out of here, so I'm probably going to have to take this out and dust it off. Alright, here you can see. Okay, you can see all the dust in here. So let me go clean that up real quick and I'll be back. Here you can see the design inside. We are going to have to remove these. It's probably going to help to use some tweezers. And yeah. Alright. Oh, there is one other screwdriver we'll need that I forgot to mention. You'll need a Pentalobe 0.8 or P2. Alright, so yeah, keep that in mind. Alright, let me go clean this up and I'll be back. Alright, see you guys in a bit. Alright, let's go ahead and continue this. So we got the cover cleaned up quite a bit. Alright, I'll set that aside. Let's go ahead and now we're going to, maybe I should have taken a screenshot there for the thing. Anyways, we're going to remove the battery now, or not remove it, but disconnect it. So we're switching over to a T5 or Torx 5 screwdriver. We're going to peel this sticker off here. Okay, so you want to carefully, slowly pull on this. There are some foam pads under here that are going to peel up. Okay, so we're just going to slowly, carefully peel this up, just like this, and carefully, slowly peel that, and there we go. So here's the thing here. Excuse me. I'm going to set that aside. We're going to now have to disconnect this cable. So this is part of the battery cable. If you damage this or lose this, you're not going to be able to charge your laptop, so be very careful. All right, we're going to flip this latch up. I'm going to use my fingernail to flip that up. All right, there you go. Sorry, the little plastic thing fell back down. Anyways, we're going to grab this cable as close as we can to the actual part where it connects, because you don't want to pull on this springy side, okay? You want to grab as close to the straight part that goes to the connector. And there we go. Next, we're going to use the T5 or Torx 5 screwdriver and remove that screw down there. Okay, just like that. Now that we've removed that, if you notice, the tab is actually far down, so what you got to do is you got to pull that up slightly. Okay, just like that. All right, now that you've done that, we're gonna open up the MacBook and we're gonna press and hold the power button for about 15 seconds. I often get asked if they need to do this. I mean, it takes 15 seconds and it could save you from causing like hundreds or thousands of dollars of damage. So yeah, like the Geico thing says, 15 seconds could save you hundreds of dollars in computer repairs. All right, anyways, let's go ahead now and start removing all the other components. So since I kind of already have the T5, I like to kind of just go along, but let me actually do it the right way this time. So I'm going to switch over to the T3 or Torx 3 first. Okay, normally I would just go and do the T5 ones first, but we're going to do it in the better order where it makes it easier for people that are new to doing this. All right, so we're going to remove the two T3 or Torx 3 screws from here. You do, again, want to keep them in order. You don't want to get them all mixed up. Once you remove those two, we're going to lift this plastic tab up slightly, and then we're going to pull that out just like that. Okay, we're going to work our way over. Usually the replacement screens won't come with this silver piece here. We probably should open up the new screen to check. So let's go ahead and do that real quick here. I'm off to the side here, but let me go ahead and cut this box open. All right, and we're going to just make sure. And okay, I don't know, Amazon used a different tape this time. So let's see here what's going on with this box. Okay. All right. So we got that cut open. Amazon sent it in a box for me. A giant box. I don't know why it's already in a box. So okay, it comes into this, let's zoom out here. So it comes in this. We're gonna pop this open. Okay, take this open, and we got this styrofoam thingy. Okay, you want to be careful with this plastic and styrofoam. You don't want to get the static electricity into your computer, so be very careful with around the board here. It helps to keep yourself grounded by touching something metal that normally would shock you if you had static built up. So keep that in mind. All right. Okay. All right. So we got that. Let's go ahead and pop the screen out of this thing. We go. I got this. All right, let's pop this out. And actually, this has the little silver tabs on it, so I'm not going to have to peel or take the other two off. But if you do need to take them off, it's just 2 screws. But here you can see it has those metal tabs. All right, so let's go ahead and peel this out. Okay, and we'll take this off. Alright, there we go. And now we have this. This one, they actually made it nice. There's a little tab so it's easier to peel up. So we're going to peel this up. Okay, and then what I do is I hold this down while I peel this. And then what I'm doing is I'm holding the metal piece here. Alright, not the connector. Alright, anyways, I'm going to roll this and peel it off. I'm going to stick it back over here. Okay, so we got that. We're going to set this foam piece off. And that's the screen. We're going to set that aside for now. I kind of just wanted to check if it had those metal tabs here. So we're not going to have to remove those. Let's go ahead and zoom back in here for you guys. Okay, so we are going to have to remove the screws here. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, got that one and this one. Hopefully it's clear and not all blurry. Okay, we got those two. Put these scissors away. All right, we're gonna work our way over. So here we have the LCD LVDS connector that goes into the screen. Be very careful with this, because if you damage this, you're gonna have to take the entire logic board out to replace it, okay? Because the cable connects underneath the logic board or the motherboard. I don't know why Apple designed it that way. Actually, I do know why Apple designed it that way, because they don't want it to be easy for people to repair. That's why, okay. Anyways, let's go ahead and finish removing this. Also, if you have the flex gate issue where your screen turns black because of the bad cable, that's actually not caused by the screen itself. Oops, accidentally flipped this. I don't know which side is which now. Alright, anyways, we'll set this aside. One side is a little thicker and one side's a little thinner. As long as it's pressing down against that, then you should be fine. So we'll set that aside. Okay, we're going to disconnect this cable. I just get underneath with my fingernail and then I just pop it up. So just like this, right? Then you kind of have to hold it back a little bit. Then we're going to remove these two screws as well. Okay. All right, there we go. Look at that, and we'll take the screw out. All right, there we go. Okay, next thing, let's see. We got these two screws here. I'm gonna remove those as well. So we'll take those out. And we'll take this out. There we go. Then we're gonna lift this up and pull this out. There we go. Okay, now we're gonna switch over to the T5 or Torx 5. Okay, so let's go ahead and switch over to the T5, and we're gonna take all of this out. Come on, there we go. And then we're gonna take these two out. And we'll take this one out. Alright, then we got one screw down here. We're going to remove that as well. Move this over. Make sure to get the screws out because these cables are in the way. Let's actually pop the wireless antennas out. So I use two fingers like this. I use my fingernails and then I just pop it straight up like that. I'm going to do that for all three. If you're wondering, I believe this is part of the SSD, so that's like memory storage. So the storage is actually integrated onto the motherboard, so keep that in mind. If for some reason your computer dies, you're going to lose that data. Alright, so there we go. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and remove these using the Pentalobe 0.8 or P2 screwdriver. Alright, I want to remove all of them. Alright. Alright. There we go. That, and that, and this. Alright, then we're going to go to the other side and do the same thing. Alright. Again, if this video helps you out, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, that all helps as well. Share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices. And if it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Alright, we're almost there. Okay. Oh, too many screws here. Alright, so now we got all of those out. Let's go ahead and pop the wireless antennas out. So let me zoom out a bit here. And the way you pull these antennas out, so These are actually also like air vents through. So what you do is you go on either side, and you can see like the center is stuck, but the sides aren't. So you just pull it up like that. Once this pops out, you can kind of wiggle this and pull it out. All right, but keep in mind, putting this is going to be a little tricky. You're going to need like a little pick or something. Tweezers work really well for that. All right, and then we're going to just slowly, carefully wiggle this out. And there we go. We got this connector here. All right, so there we go. We're going to set that aside. All right. All right, so now we got all of that. All right, next thing we're going to do, we're going to remove the screen. So in order to do that, it helps to hang it off the edge of your desk. We're going to switch over to the T8 or Torx 8 screwdriver, and let me zoom out here. You guys are going to probably be seeing my legs, but all right, anyways, we're going to open the screen up all the way. Okay, so completely open it all the way, hang it off the edge of your desk, and then what we're going to do, we're going to remove all 6 screws here, 3 on each side. Okay. Also, it helps to use some thread locker when you put these back. So let's go ahead and remove all this. Okay. Man, this screw, why is this screw so tough? There we go. Okay, and then we'll remove these 3. Alright, so now we got all the screws out. After you've done that, what you're going to do, you're going to let the screen drop to 90 degrees like this, and then you're going to lift it out just like that. And there's the old screen. We're going to set that aside. Okay, we're going to get the new screen now. And you want to basically do the same thing. So, oops, whoa, I don't want to drop that onto the screws. Okay. Alright, so again, you want this to be open all the way. If you can't do this by hand, if you can't turn the hinges, you can actually use the T8 or Torx 8 screwdriver, and you can actually use that to twist the hinge just like that. Just make sure you don't pull too hard. You want to, once it stops, you want to just stop immediately, okay? Don't keep trying to pull it back or you can break the hinge. Alright, so to get this in, what I do is I get my fingers underneath these cables, okay? So let me, so like this, I get my fingers under there. Then we're going to slowly, carefully drop this into place. And it might help to actually use one hand to hold the cables, whatever works for you. Just to make sure that they end up on top of here. And then get the hinges in. You might have to move this back a little, move it around. And come on, drop in. There we go. Okay, so there we go. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to get these screws back in here. I like to just put one on each side first, okay? Because we are going to have to align it afterwards. So let's go ahead and get these screws in. All right, that one and this one. There we go. Now what we're going to do, we're going to slowly, carefully close this. You want to do this very slowly and carefully because if it gets caught on anything, you don't want to force it down. All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and zoom in now. All right, now it's up. Excuse me. Oh, God. Now it's upside down from how we worked on it before, but we're going to loosen these 2 screws a little bit. And then to make sure it's aligned, you want to run your fingers along the outer edges, front, back, everywhere. Okay, make sure it's all lined up. Okay, make sure it's all lined up. Okay. All right. Okay. Once you make sure everything looks properly aligned, you can actually go ahead and tighten these down. This will hold it in place while we add the thread locker to the other screws. Okay, check one more time, just make sure. Looks good. Okay, so now we're gonna get thread locker. Okay, and you don't use much of this stuff. You use very little actually. So what you do, you just squeeze this out, get a tiny bit. Okay, basically you just kind of touch a little bit onto it, just like, I don't know if you even saw or able to see, but very little, not even a full drop, and only on one side. And then we're just gonna get the screw in. and tighten that down. All right, once we've done that, we're going to do the other one. So we're just going to do this with all 6 screws. Let me actually zoom in closer to just one side, since you don't need to see all of the thing at the same time. All right, sorry, it's wobbling. There we go. And let's go ahead and get the thread locker on here. All right, just like that. Okay, then we'll take this out. All right, and we'll get this in. Same thing, just put a little bit, and then we'll tighten this in. All right, let's clean this off. There we go. All right, then we're gonna go over to the other side and do the same thing. All right. There we go. And then we'll tighten this in. All right, tighten that down. The other one. There we go. And tighten this in. All right, and then we'll take this one back out. Okay, and there we go. We'll tighten that one back in, and we're done with the thread locker, and we're done with the T8 or Torx 8 screwdriver. So we'll put that away. I'm gonna flip this back over here. All right, so now we got to get the wireless. Well, we got to get the wireless antennas back in. But I like to actually, get these back in first. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and switch back over to the T3 or Torx 3 screwdriver. Okay, and I'm actually gonna put those spring-loaded connectors in first. So these you kind of have to rotate them around, twist them like this, and then get them in. Oh, why is this? Oh, okay, it was twisted the other way. Wait, is this something's weird here? Why is it not reaching right now? Oh, the spring is going super strong. Okay, so I'm gonna have to pull it this way, and the spring is actually super strong for some reason pulling. So let's go ahead and see. Hopefully I can get it to reach. Okay. All right, and we're gonna have to hold that in place. Yep. All right. So on this one, for some reason, the spring is like really strong. So we're gonna hold it in place here and tighten that down. Okay, grab the second one. So I don't know why it's pulling so tight on this, but yeah, all right. Let's get that in. All right, let's go ahead and check the other side here. As you can see, this side, I don't need to pull it very hard, so I don't know why the spring on the other side was pretty tight. All right, let's go ahead and get this in. Okay, just like that. And we'll get the second one. All right, and we'll get that in. There we go. Okay, so now we got that, we can go ahead and put the wireless antennas in. Make sure this cable's on top. Let's zoom out a bit. Okay. Now to get the wireless antennas, if you didn't already, again, I straightened these out to make them a little bit easier to put back. We're gonna thread it back through under here. Okay. So just carefully thread it in. Okay. This can be a little tricky to do. Sometimes it helps to kind of like bend it upwards a little bit so it kind of curves the cables upwards like these. Okay. And let's go ahead and continue. Come on. And you can also check from in here to see if it's going into the slot, just like that. Okay. And then once you get it in, you're likely going to have to use a tweezer or something to get under there and grab them to pull them up, because they will hit the logic board and get stuck there. Okay, so as you can see, it's down there. We're going to grab that and pull it up and continue. Oh, that other one's kind of caught under there, so Come on. There we go. Oh. So you gotta get that to pop out. All right, and also, oh, this metal piece here is also a little bit tricky too, because you kind of have to get them all to clear the thing at the same time, so it's a little bit tricky. Okay, there we go. Then we're gonna grab that. Went a little bit, pull it back up. There we go. Okay, then this one's here, so we gotta lift this up. Okay. Oh, it went underneath. Gotta get underneath and lift that up. Okay, there we go. So you can see that's all up there now. Okay, next thing we're gonna do, make sure that this part is kind of flush, and then while you're holding it, you can push this down to kind of lock it. And then you want to try and pull it lightly to see if it comes out. If it holds itself in place, then you should be okay. All right. Next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna take the, we can use the Pentalobe 0.8 or P2 screwdriver again, and we're gonna get the wireless antenna things back in place. Let me actually zoom in here. Okay, so what I like to do is I hold this in place, and while I'm pulling these two parts together, I will put the outermost screw in first. Then I'll grab a second screw. Okay. I'll hold this in and then put this one in place. All right, we're going to do the same thing with the other side here. All right, I'm going to pinch this together and we'll tighten this one in. There we go. Grab the second one. Okay, and then we're going to hold this one in place as well and get that screw in. All right, now we can go ahead and just put all those Pentalobe 0.8 or P2 screws in. Okay. You want to be very careful with these screws. You don't want to drop them on the motherboard or inside the computer because it's going to be hard to get them out. They're super tiny. Okay. If you did the battery reset thing and you dropped them on the board, it's probably okay, but the thing is trying to get them out of the computer, that's going to be a pain. All right. All right, there we go. I'm going to move on over to the other side. Get all those screws back in. All right. Get that in. In. Also, you want to make sure that you got the right model screen. I know it's probably too late now if you're already doing this, but I use a website called EveryMac or something, everymac.com. You can put in the serial number and it will tell you like the year and model of your MacBook if you don't know what it is. Okay, there we go. All right, we're done with the P2 or Pentalobe 0.8 screwdriver, so we'll put that back. We're gonna now switch over to the T5 or Torx 5 again. And we're gonna put this stuff into place, okay? So let's go ahead and move over here. And we're gonna first loosely fit these, so get that lined up. Okay, and we're gonna try and get this screw in. All right, so let's see here, come on, go in. Keeps wiggling around. All right, so we're loosely fitting that. You don't want to tighten it all the way down yet because you want to make sure to get all four lined up first. Okay, just like that. And we're going to go over here, get the other two. Okay, loosely fit that as well. All right, loosely fit that as well. All right, there we go. Next, we're going to go up here and we'll get this screw in. And we'll tighten that down. All right, now that we got those, let's go ahead and tighten the four up here again. Okay, work our way over here and get those in. Perfect. All right, so we got all of that in. We're gonna now reconnect these three the wireless antennas. So these can be a little bit tricky. You might have to kind of push them back and forth. Make sure that they line up 100% before you push them down. The way you know is you can see they don't want to move anymore, and then you can go ahead and click that down. All right, so if you got it lined up right, it won't move around on top, and that's very important because if you have it lined up wrong and you try and force it, you're going to damage the connector or the motherboard, and those components are very difficult to fix. All right, so there we go. Get that, click that, there we go. So now we got all three of these clicked back in. Okay, what do we got left? We got the LCD LVDS connector here that we need to plug back in. A lot of times you have to kind of pull it down a little bit that way to get it to plug back in. Okay, and then you can snap it in, and then you can actually check if it doesn't come out easily, then you're good. You can kind of make sure to push that down. All right, we're gonna now switch back over to the T3 or Torx 3 screwdriver so we can put these little brackets and stuff back on, or the whatever you want to call them, the metal secured, I don't know what you would call them. I'll call them metal brackets. All right, get that on top. And if you notice, I use this to help guide it. Okay, we're gonna get a second screw. And again, we just loosely fit it first to make sure everything is in place. And then you can go ahead and now tighten that down. And you can go ahead and now tighten that down. All right, so I don't know if I flipped this upside down on accident or not. Let me see here. Okay, that feels somewhat loose, so I'm gonna flip it upside down. I'm gonna put the thicker side face down and see. That actually feels too tight. So I'm gonna put the thinner side face down. Most likely it had the pressure pushing on it for so long that it kind of just stayed down like that. Okay. And we're gonna go ahead and tighten this into place. All right, I just loosely fit it first. We'll get the second one, and then we'll get this in, and we'll carefully tighten that. All right, now hold this down and tighten that into place. Here we go. All right, then we got the little plastic covers on the sides here, so we'll get that back in. So you have to put this at an angle like this, okay? And then you drop it in, right? It's very important. Sometimes these where the screws hold in aren't designed right, but let's see, hopefully it's good. All right, looks good. And the second one. If these screw mounts for these aren't good, I mean, you can exchange it if it's from Amazon or something, but depending where you bought it from, hopefully you can exchange it. But if you're kind of like don't really care, it's not really important that you get those screws in. All right. Sometimes the screw holes for those are too small and the screws don't go in, so. All right, that's actually a semi-common thing I've seen. Actually, you can probably even check that before you take the whole screen out. Technically, you can just take the screws out and then test them. But anyways, we'll get all these screws back in. All right, so we got all the screen screws back in. We're gonna now go back down to the battery here. We're done with the T3 or Torx 3. Let's switch back to the T5, Torx 5. We'll get that one screw in. All right. There we go. All right, I'm probably gonna have to get my charger. I don't have it with me right now. But anyways, let's go ahead and grab this. So we're gonna put this back. I like to grab the tab here so that I can maneuver this. And I don't know if you can even see because my thumb's in the way, but we're gonna get this cable in. All right. Sorry, you're probably not gonna be able to see, but I gotta do what I gotta do. All right, well, actually, let me turn it this way so it's easier. And maybe you can kind of see, kind of, not really. Can I lift it up this way for you guys to see? Where'd it go here? Okay, I don't know if that's gonna help you guys see, but hopefully it does. So we're gonna grab that, line that up, and push that in, come on. This cable can somewhat be a pain to maneuver. There we go. Okay, so here you can see you will have some of the gold sticking out. That's normal. All right, once you've done that, make sure it stays in place, and then just slide your finger over the top to latch it down, and then you can push this thing back down as well. All right, so the battery is now connected. If you want, you can actually test the MacBook just like this. We are likely going to have to plug it in. Apple, usually once you remove the battery, it's not gonna let you power it up until you plug it in, but let's go ahead and try. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go plug it in. So let me go get the charger and I'll be back. All right, so I'm back with the charger. Let's plug this thing in and see what we got. Come on, wake up. Wake up. Okay, I feel it clicking now. There we go. It took a while to wake up. I think maybe their battery is drained because that took a while. Usually it doesn't take that long. Let me move this out of the way. This thing's all bubbly. Okay, let's see. All right, it's clicking, but I don't see anything on the screen. Hopefully the issue they were having really was, okay, there we go. That took a while. All right, I'm gonna have to hide this because it's probably gonna show their username. So here you go. All right, you can see the screen is on, it's working. So we should be good to go. I'm gonna actually, I don't know if I showed that, but I'm going to go ahead and shut this thing down. Okay, and usually after doing this, you want to do a PRAM and SMC reset. I don't know if this model supports it, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to unplug this for now. We're going to put this cover back on. So to put this cover on, you do it at an angle. You want to line up these sides here, okay? And you start slightly back. And the reason, if you want to see, these hooks here, they hook into the air vent area here, okay? So we're gonna go like that, okay? And we're gonna slide this up, okay? And then we're gonna slide this side up. Again, you have to do it at a slight angle, not a crazy angle, just a slight angle. So kind of like about that much, okay? And we're gonna slide those clips back in. Good, then we'll slide this side again. And you kind of want to work your way back and forth until both sides are completely seated back there, okay? And everything on the edges here are lined up, okay? Once you make sure everything is lined up around the edges here and here, then you can go ahead and click that all back in, and then we'll just get all the screws back in. We'll do the PRAM and SMC reset, and we're good to go. Oh, shoot. Okay, I did forget one thing. Sorry about that. Let me take this cover back off. I forgot to put this battery thing back on, so my bad. Let's go ahead and flip this back around. Go over here. Again, pop this thing back up. Okay. Sorry about that. Now we're doing this repair multiple times. Not really, but removing the cover multiple times. Hopefully you didn't follow along with me that quick and you remembered to put that piece back. If not, I recommend you open it back up. Oh, what is this sticker thingy? Okay. Anyways, let's go ahead and pop this thing back out. Okay, and we'll pop this one back out. And we'll pop this one back out. There we go. And let's put that sticker back on there. All right, line that back up. And stick that back in. All right, now we'll get this back in. All right, line that up, and then we'll get this and line this up. Push that in. All right, push that in. Push that in again. All right, click that in. Everything looks good. All right. Also, if it's slightly over to one side, you can actually physically move it using these nubs. All right, it's a little bit over to one side if you want to even it out. It's not that important, but all right, let's get all of these screws back in, and then we'll do the PRAM and SMC reset, and we're good to go. All right. All right. All right, there we go. Let's put their bottom cover off, or back on, and we'll do the SMC and PRAM resets. All right, so we'll get the backside back in here, and then click it back down. There we go. Flip this back over. Oh, and by the way, if you were curious, yes, there is the Apple logo there. Okay, but they ship it like that. All right. Let's go ahead and open this up. We're going to turn it on, and we'll do the PRAM and SMC reset. So SMC reset, Control Option Shift on the left side, power button. Oop, the battery's low, so I'm going to have to charge it up. I guess they brought it to me with very low battery. All right, let me actually make sure it turns on first. I'm going to hold the Option key. If the PRAM reset works, then this is the best way to confirm. So I'm going to hold the Option key here, and hopefully it will go into the boot menu where I can see the boot devices. Let me get this tape somewhat more out of the way. Okay, come on, boot up. There you go, you got the Apple. I don't think it's going to do the boot device options. This model, it might be the model where I have to like press and hold the power buttons. Let me shut this down. Their battery is showing 0%. I might have to double check. All right, anyways, I'm going to press and hold the power button here, and let's see if it goes into recovery mode this way. Okay, it's not doing anything. Okay, so I don't know. Let's just turn it on normally, and then we'll press and hold the Option key and see if it will boot up. Hopefully the battery metal tab is lined up right. I mean, I only lifted it up a little bit and then pushed it back down, so we'll have to make sure that's okay. But yeah, if your battery is showing 0 or not charging, and you know it was charged before you started, then you want to double check that thin ribbon cable and the metal tab. All right, anyways, it looks like it's just starting the Apple thing, so I don't think it's gonna boot to the recovery. Anyways, I'm gonna try Control Option Shift and the power button. Okay, so that didn't do a PRAM reset. Let's try if it'll do a or it didn't do an SMC reset. We'll see if we can do a PRAM reset. So that's Command Option P and R. Oop, it already went. Oh, it worked. Okay, so the screen shut itself back off, and it should boot itself back up. And that's how we know we did the PRAM reset. So that should be good enough. We, I guess, don't really need to do the SMC reset. Come on, boot yourself back up. It should boot itself back up. I don't want to touch the trackpad or anything because sometimes the Mac, the trackpad turns it on. So I'm just going to wait. I'll give it a bit and see if it's, hopefully it's still going to turn itself back on. How long should I wait? Sometimes it's quick, sometimes it takes a while, but I think it, oh, there we go. Okay, it did turn itself on. I don't know why it took so long. But yeah, so that's the PRAM reset. SMC reset didn't seem to do anything, so I think that's pretty much it. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. The battery is 2% now, so I think the customer, because their screen was broken, they just left the laptop closed and not plugged in, and the battery completely drained. I am going to test it real quick, so it's at 2%. Let's see if it stays on. Okay, good. All right, so wow, it dropped to 1%. Okay, so I'm gonna shut this down, leave it plugged in, and yeah, we'll let it charge for them. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Let's drop this. Bye.